Have central banks reached the end of the road? That's a big question. I had a teacher in my university days, long ago, who criticised another colleague saying, he goes straight to the periphery of a question. Well, I fear that you may first think that we're a little bit on the periphery talking about the UK and the Bank of England as the illustration of that big theme. It's a theme we're looking at across our research, and if you'd like to join us at our 30th anniversary investment seminar and party on Tuesday, September the 10th in London, you'll be very welcome. And you'll find plenty about this theme in our mainline research. Dario Perkins, our managing director for Global Macro, writing last week about whether the latest round of central bank monetary easing in the US and the euro area will achieve anything, concludes that it might indeed reflate the search for yield and non-bank debt issuance with some effect, but that can only go on so long. Sooner or later, at least by the time of the next recession, governments will have to take over. Fiscal policy will have to dominance. The return to Keynesianism. Charles Dumas, our chief economist, put it this way, that the sole reliance on monetary stimulus leads to increasing inequalities, assuming that budget deficits are ruled out in normal times, and you're left with trickle-down and no direction for poverty relief, for raising living standards. The political reaction has to come. Well, hence it's a global political driver as well, which is what I've been writing about. And you may think, well, this is the kind of political risk that we can think about as and when it arises, in some concrete situation and crisis conditions. Well, there is a crisis condition right here for us sitting in London in front of our eyes. It's in the UK, a country on the brink of extreme political turbulence. And out of that could come quite important changes for the Bank of England. Certainly if the general election in the UK, which looks extremely likely either this winter or at the latest next spring or summer, produces a government led by the UK Labour Party, you might be looking at some dethroning of the Bank of England. But not necessarily, I argue, in the conventional sense of monetary financing of public works programs and the Bank of England relegated to fully dependent status. The Chancellor of the Exchequer in waiting, John McDonnell, seems to have turned his back on that. But the politicisation of the Bank of England could come in another way. It could be harnessed to the socialist-inspired programmes of the UK Labour Party to do with ownership and the supply side, directing credit, targeting house prices. Politicisation, but not as you thought it. But wait, what if the other wing, sort of in power now in the UK, under the new Prime Minister Boris Johnson, gets real power with a proper parliamentary majority? A pro-hard Brexit, conservative stroke Brexit party government. But they too will want to spend through their hard Brexit, perhaps forcing the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of England either to toe the line or to lose their independence. Sometimes these big themes just pop up in an important place. Watch out for the UK.